Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no. Wow, what a difference 24 hours makes. Just last night there was a severe thunderstorm in progress. Tonight is absolutely beautiful. But last night, for those of you who joined me, what an incredible experience it was. It was the loudest thunder I think I've ever been a part of and experienced. Now, I was so used to severe thunderstorms because I lived in the Yukon for 15 months back in 2006. From May of 2006 until July of 2007, I lived up north. So I lived like Yvonne of the Yukon, throw in a little bit of SpongeBob SquarePants and, annoy your next door neighbor, and you've got my life story. But I have experienced severe thunderstorms, but nothing like last night. I think that was the most severe thunderstorm that I have ever been a part of or experienced in the history of this island. When I first moved back home to this island, when they took me away from the ocean and I couldn't see the ocean anymore, and I was sent on assignment in places in the world that I didn't want to be, when you can't see the ocean and you can't see the moon casting a light over the ocean, it really affects you. This island reminds me of Oregon, and I love living here because it is so peaceful. It is so quiet. And on nights like this, when I couldn't record videos for you guys, I would spend a lot of time alone, and I would journal. And that's why I feel real sympathetic towards Dove Cameron, because the guys that she had in relationships like Ryan McCartan, Thomas Doherty, whoever you want to talk about, couldn't really understand why Dove Cameron spent all of her life journaling. It was the only way that Dove Cameron felt understood. And that's why I wish that people like Ryan McCartan and Thomas Doherty could have really understood where Dove Cameron was coming from. I've often wondered if they've actually even taken the opportunity to read her journal, because I think that would have gave them a better understanding of what Dove Cameron was really all about and what her mission ultimately was in life. Her mission was to be something special and to be an inspiration to somebody. And I think that if Ryan McCartan and Thomas Doherty would have taken a step back and given Dove Cameron her space and really understood where Dove Cameron was coming from, they'd probably still be with her today and probably be living a fabulous life. Because nothing Dove Cameron ever did was Dove Cameron's fault. And a lot of rumors were spread like fire because of Dove Cameron's decisions in life. But I think that she was just either judged or backed into proverbial corners, which seemingly there was no way out of, until she finally removed herself from the situation. My heart really goes out to Dove Cameron, and my heart goes out to each and every one of you for being incredibly supportive of who you love, because you don't have to support this YouTube channel, but you do. Over 35,000 views have been put up on this YouTube channel, almost 3,000 subscribers. Here's the situation. I'm stuck at 2,749 subscribers, so I want to know what girl is going to be the girl that puts the little bit of extra muscle on this YouTube channel and finally hits the subscribe button to make 2,750 subscribers plus. I love how everybody supports this YouTube channel. I really do. And I love creating videos for you. I love being here every single night of my life, critiquing Descendants and Zombies for what I believe is the right way to talk about it. Because if you're going to talk about Descendants and Zombies, you really got to put yourself out there. You've really got to show up. And you've got to create videos that people are going to love. You don't really have to criticize the franchise. You have to talk about it for what it's worth. And how you talk about it is talk about it how you feel about it and how much of an impact it's had on your life and your heart. And a lot of guys that talk about Descendants and Zombies, there are very few of them on YouTube, but those of them that you will find and encounter really don't show up to speak from their heart. You never ever see a pre-written statement that I prepared for this YouTube channel, and you never will. Because I never write down anything that I want to say on the show. I never rehearse anything. I just show up and I speak from my heart. And if I tell you I love Ruby Rose Turner, I'm telling you I love Ruby Rose Turner because I do. I think she is genuinely kind, and she is perhaps the kindest girl to ever be an actress, to ever have the opportunity to be a part of Descendants and play a character as beautiful and as lovely as what Bridget was. Nights like this remind me of Bridget, and oftentimes you will see me looking up through the window, looking at the moon, wondering where Ruby Rose Turner is out there in the world tonight, because I miss her dearly. And when she announced on social media she was parting ways with the Descendants franchise, my heart was broken. Because Ruby made me help make sense of life, helped me make sense of life in ways that a lot of characters that were introduced into the Descendants franchise weren't able to do it. I know that Kylie Cantrell was a beautiful character. She was quite lovely to watch. She did a fabulous job after having the torch passed to her from Dove Cameron. Beautiful job. But I think when it came down to the wire, I think that Ruby Rose Turner was the one that always showed me the way out of darkness and back into the light, kind of like you guys, for just how you show up and you always hit the like button, you hit the subscribe button. Every single time I felt lost in my lifetime, I knew that you guys were always going to be my light out of darkness, and you've always shown me the way back into the light. And I mean that with a whole heart, because there were often times in my life when I felt lost. There were often times in my life when I was somewhere in the world I didn't want to be, talking to somebody I didn't want to be talking to, doing something I didn't want to be doing. Even on dates, when people would hit the subscribe or the like button for me, I would get a notification on my phone. People would tell me they couldn't do it anymore because I was always choosing you guys over people that I fell in love with or thought I fell in love with years ago. But nothing was ever important to me as much as what this YouTube channel always was. You know, and there were times in my life when I couldn't create this YouTube channel, and I couldn't tell you how I was feeling. I couldn't create any videos. A lot of stuff got in the way, personally and professionally, on both sides of my career, on both sides of the coin, if you would. But every single time that I had the opportunity to create a video for you guys, I did it with such honor, and I did it with such prestige, because I always wanted to give you hope. Because I feel as if when you talk about Descendants and Zombies, for the powerful music, the powerful script, the story of every movie, how it affected you both personally and professionally, when you talk about it, you have to make the person feel as if they're a part of it and go away from your video feeling as if you really appreciated Descendants and Zombies. If you're going to create a video for Descendants and Zombies, you really have to show up, and you really have to show your appreciation for the franchise. The characters, the actresses, more especially the actresses, because they're quite lovely. The actors who made up the cast, the writers and producers, the incredible effort, the time, the budget that was allocated, what your thoughts are on it, and you really have to have a friendship with your audience and a connection with your audience, because if you don't have that, you really don't have anything to fall back on. The only people that I could ever really reach out to were each and every one of you for just how incredibly supportive each and every one of you were of this YouTube channel, because when you could have quit on me, you never ever did. You were always there for me. You always believed in me. You always believed that these videos were always your answer for everything. And for the life of me, to this day, I don't know why. I'm just a guy who loves Descendants and Zombies as much as each and every one of you, and who dearly loves and dearly misses Ruby Rose Turner. I don't think there's a night of my life that I don't wish Ruby was here to help me make sense of life, help me build game cheers, help me with things around the house, play board games with me. I've heard that Freya Sky actually loves board games, and I think she would be very appreciative of my board game collection. One of my favorite board games was always Mousetrap, and I know that sounds really cute and adorable coming from a guy who has been around for a very long time, but one of my favorite board games was always Mousetrap. I always liked this board game too called 13 Dead End Drive, where you would kill every other player as you hunted down a treasure, a fortune that was left behind in a mansion that took hours to assemble. So I loved Mousetrap, 13 Dead End Drive, Hungry Hungry Hippos, Electronic Battleship, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Goosebumps, some of my all-time favorite board games. And I even had board games off of very successful movies back in the 1990s, including Dennis the Menace, if you can believe that. I was a diehard fan of board games, so when I heard Freya Sky saying she preferred board games over video games, I honored that. I would love to honor that. I would love to play board games with Freya Sky any night of the week. We could have a family game night with the stars of Descendants, because I have publicly invited the Descendant stars to come live with me to shoot Descendants on this beautiful island, which I think they would appreciate. And then I could have the opportunity, my dream would be fulfilled, of being the director and the writer of Descendants, because I think I have a lot of creative energy that I could offer to this, and I could make it a very enjoyable experience for them. I would love for Disney to sell me the franchise, honestly. I know the franchise is worth $22.5 million. Money has never been an issue for me. I will pay them what they want. I will take over creative control of the Descendants franchise, and I will make it worth everybody's while, and I'll make everybody's dreams come true, because the Descendants franchise then, I will know for sure, will last eternally, because that's all I've ever wanted to do, was create the Descendants franchise in a way that it was meant to be created for each and every one of you. I think that For far long enough now, this Descendants franchise has been victims of criticism. It has been victims of it's just been really misrepresented, are the words I'm searching for. I think that if you're going to talk about Descendants and Zombies, at least talk about it in a way to give it meaning and to give it prestige. Because this is the most beautiful franchise that I think Disney has ever created. I'm not taking anything away from High School Musical and Hannah Montana and Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and Wizards of Waverly Place, Kim Possible, DuckTales, Bonkers, Goof Troop, the Gargoyles animated TV series. I can go on and on because I was a huge fan of original Disney animation, original Disney TV series that were part of the Disney Channel Revolution. I was a big fan of Disney during the Disney Channel Revolution. I'll tell you how huge of a fan I was of the Disney Channel Revolution. I would go over to my sister's house because she had cable TV installed and I had trouble with my TV on time, so I would go over to her house. And I would spend the nights over at her house for sleepovers, and you could catch me on the couch. I would deliberately take the couch every single night. Every single weekend that I would go over to my sister's, and at 2 a.m. in the morning, I would be watching reruns of Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I would spend hours watching Disney Channel because I loved it so much, and I would watch midnight marathons of Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Hannah Montana, Wizards of Waverly Place because I had issues with my TV. I'm very appreciative of the Disney Channel Revolution, and I'm very appreciative of franchises such as Descendants and Zombies. So I know that people have been crying out for a podcast that on YouTube that would devote its time to Descendants and Zombies. I know there are girls out there whose dream is to have a show that devotes the conversation to Descendants and Zombies fans and the Descendants and Zombies universe, and I just wanted to give that to you. I just wanted to give that to you because I loved the music just as much as each and every one of you did. I loved how the plot unfolded and how the plot would always leave us very unpredictable of what was going to happen next. I just loved everything about it. I loved how villains and heroes could coexist in Oregon. I would love to see a TV series, a live-action TV series created for Disney Plus, and I would love to be the director of it. I've always put it out there that I've always wanted to be the director or to gain ownership of the Descendants franchise. And to be honest with you girls, this is the guy that you want to have gain ownership of the Descendants franchise, because if I gain ownership of the Descendants franchise, what will happen is the prestige will be brought back to Descendants, and you will see a lot of creative things happen for Descendants. A lot of magical things, a lot of magical origin, if you would, will be restored to Descendants, and the credibility will last for forever. And one thing that you can rest assured knowing is that the legacies of these stars will forever remain eternal. Because that's all I've ever wanted to do. Long after I'm dead and gone, I wanted to ensure that the legacies of your favorite stars, Dove Cameron, Kylie Cantrell, Mila Baker, Ruby Rose Turner, would last eternally, forever and always in your hearts. Because they are legends. Regardless if they are referred to as legends or not, which I know they're not, they are legends. And if they aren't referred to as legends, they will be. You know, I saw Miley Cyrus get the Legends Award, and she was the youngest Disney legend in history at D23 a number of years ago, actually last year. And I was so honored to have witnessed that. And I thought about how many other people deserve to be referred to as Disney legends and have that same prestigious award. I thought about the contributions of Dove Cameron. I thought about the contributions of Kylie Cantrell. I thought about the contributions of Ruby Rose Turner, and I said that they are so deserving of having these honors bestowed upon them. It's a long way away from ever happening, but I think that if there are ever people who are considered to be legends and to be given the same honors as Miley Cyrus, it would have to be the Descendants stars who make up the cast of franchises like the original Descendants, the original VK Kids, or this new cast, which has been phenomenally represented. The point is, I would love to just honor these stars in a way that I've always wanted to honor them in the way that they deserve to be honored for far long enough now, and give them creative freedom to make them happy again. Because I think that happiness, there's no price on happiness. A girl's happiness, there's no price on it. You can give a girl what she wants, but at the end of the day, if she's still not happy, there's really no point. The thing is, I say there's no price on happiness because no guy really ever understands what a girl is thinking, how a girl is feeling. A girl doesn't want a guy with a whole lot of money. A girl doesn't want a guy who is the captain of the football team, or a guy who joins the gym and can lift heavier weights than what she is. That's not how it goes. A girl wants a guy to appreciate her for who she is. Shout out to every idiot out there. And I think that if people like Ryan McCartan, Thomas Doherty, that stupid ex-boyfriend that Kylie Contrell had just last year who treated her horrible, I think that if they would have realized that, then they probably would be in a happier place right now, both mentally and perhaps physically, with people like Kylie Contrell and Dove Cameron than they ever have been. They had opportunities in front of them. They had the world in front of them with Kylie Contrell and Dove Cameron, and they just never realized it. For some reason, I am the sweetest guy ever to create a Descendants for Zombies video. Perhaps it's because I understand people like Ruby Rose Turner, Kylie Control, and Dove Cameron perhaps better than they even understand themselves. I even know more about them than they perhaps know about themselves. I'm the guy that they should be sitting down doing interviews with. And I'm the one that could make the most out of the Descendants experience. Because this is really a journey that we're all on. It's a journey of acceptance, a journey of second chances, a journey of romance, a journey of finding that one true love that you can spend eternity with and never look back. I don't have ever regretted. I've never regretted falling into this niche, because the one thing about this niche is they are incredibly supportive. They are incredibly protective of who and what they love. I get that from how much you love these videos. And that's why I go out of my way every single day to record my thoughts on Descendants and Zombies in a commentary for you, which I hope that you're going to run away with something appreciated from. Because a lot of people don't do that. They just record these stupid reaction videos. They don't go into depth on the... I could do that if I wanted to do that. I have OBS and everything. I know how to do the technical aspect. I've kind of mastered that of creating videos. But I never edit anything out of a video. I just love to go in depth about Descendants and Zombies because I'm just so appreciative of just how much it means to every single person who ever said they were a fan of Descendants and Zombies. I've seen girls show up at my door on Halloween dressed up in costumes of their favorite Descendants characters, and I love that dearly. I've taken pictures with them. They have hugged me because they love the show. There's nobody else on the street on Halloween and Christmas that celebrates Descendants and Zombies like I do, and you will see that this year on Christmas when I redecorate this set for Christmas. I have that already planned. They know that a guy on their street loves Descendants, and they come to this house all the time, and I've just had the honor of being in the presence of so many beautiful Descendants fans, and it's really been an honor to me. And with me, what you see is what you get. I love each and every one of you individually because you're just beautiful people. There is no other niche that is this supportive or this incredibly lovely. I love this so much. I love how you can't get enough of Kylie Contrell. I love how you can't get enough of Ruby Rose Turner. I love how you can't get enough of Dove Cameron. I come on here and I try to create the best videos possible because I know what it's like to be you. I know what it's like to feel like you don't feel accepted or you don't feel loved or you can't make sense of your own life. So I just wanted to help you make sense of it. And I also really try to really feel as if I were in the same position as Kylie Contrell and Ruby Rose Turner. I honestly don't know how I would handle it. Being afraid to Google yourself because you don't know what you're going to find in a video or hear about yourself in an audio commentary or see in a photo that someone may have photoshopped. When a girl is crying on TikTok videos because she doesn't want to Google herself anymore like I saw Kylie Contrell do last year. Oh, that broke my heart. It broke my heart. You guys got to believe me. You got to hear me out. It broke my heart. I was crying myself to sleep for about a week after I saw Kylie Contrell's first video where she was reduced to tears. And then I heard stories about how Ruby was so upset because she was let down for opportunities in Hollywood. I just want to put it out there. What is wrong with you, Hollywood? What is wrong with you? Why don't you just give Ruby Rose Turner the opportunity to portray the live-action Rapunzel in the live-action Tangled? Why is all this conversation revolving around Sabrina Carpenter? I've heard Sabrina Carpenter's this, Sabrina Carpenter is that. What is it about Sabrina Carpenter that is so remarkably beautiful that outshines anything that Ruby Rose Turner has ever done? The girl has publicly said in interviews for E.T. that she would love to portray Rapunzel in the live-action Tangled. So give her the opportunity to do it and let her run with it. Pay the girl what she wants and just make her happy. You have access to $158 billion of revenue and you can't make these Descendant stars happy? You have to make it feel like they're living in jail? And it feels like they're living in Arkham City, for Christ's sake. You've got to do something to make them happier than what they are. It doesn't have to feel like they're living in Arkham City or on Alcatraz. It's almost like they're living in prison. I saw a video of the Descendants cast. They were so happy to be in the same cafeteria as the Backstreet Boys, and they couldn't go over and talk to them. Kylie Cantrell always wanted to live her life like she was living in the 1990s. That was her opportunity to do it. What is wrong with what is wrong with everybody? I'm getting so choked up here. Oh my God! You've got to give them creative freedom. I don't get that. And if I was in control of Disney, the first thing I would do is I would fire everybody in the social media department. There would be no social media department because I experienced that with the Jessie cast. Now they had no creative freedom. They weren't allowed to wear bikinis on the set of Jessie. They weren't allowed to say what they wanted, feel how they wanted, to express their emotions. It was terrible. It was really terrible. And then I saw this video of Ruby Rose Turner and Kylie Cantrell and Mila Baker being in this cafeteria one afternoon. They were taking a break after shooting Descendants, and the Backstreet Boys showed up, and they were huge fans of the Backstreet Boys. Kylie Cantrell was a huge fan of the 1990s, and it just breaks my heart. What is wrong with Disney, man? Why can't they just let their stars be happy? You have $158 billion. Now, $158 billion of revenue is not enough for you? Man, hit my subscribe button so I can help these stars out. Because obviously, apart from every fan, every little girl, whoever loved Descendants, I'm the only guy that gets that. Obviously, I'm the only guy that appreciates the Descendants cast for really who they are and what they are, because they're human beings with souls. They're not worth so much. I don't look at the net worth of Ruby Rose Turner. If you want to talk about the net worth of Ruby Rose Turner's net worth is $2.5 million. That's nothing. Meg Donnelly's net worth is worth $2.5 million. So what if they're only worth $2.5 million? Who cares? They're a person with a soul, and they cry. And I've seen enough videos of them crying on YouTube. I don't care about their net worth. Ruby is worth millions of dollars to me. I don't care about... There's no price tag on a girl's happiness. So they're worth $2.5 million. Hooray for you for figuring that out. How many nights did you spend awake trying to figure that out, guys? Can we just make them happy and stop them from crying? Seriously. I don't care if Kylie Cantrell is a Donald Trump supporter or not, or if she calls her fans cuties. I don't find that offensive. It's only some idiot out there that feels that way about them. You see, I understand how the Descendant stars feel. And I think that gives me a greater appreciation for Descendants and Zombies, because I always wanted to make it an enjoyable experience for people. I just always wanted to make it an enjoyable experience so that you could find videos on YouTube that you could be proud to watch, honestly. And let me just say this. I love you guys so much, man. And I just wanted to create videos for you. I know some videos look like I'm turning into a werewolf. Actually, the graveyard shift is coming up, and I have nothing prepared for tonight. Oh, my God. I have no steak sharpened. Actually, tonight I should be out on shift because there's no thunderstorm. Last night was really crazy. If you didn't see that video, just click on the Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires review, and you will see that crazy video where there was a huge thunderstorm. It was the most severe thunderstorm that I had ever been a part of. But yeah, it really breaks my heart how people like Kylie Cantrell and Ruby Rose Turner have to endure what they do. So I'm really thankful for their friendship. I just want to say that. I am so honored to be talking about 3 girls, Kylie Cantrell, Mila Baker, and Ruby Rose Turner, who are just there for each other. A guy doesn't really often say this, but I really appreciate girls who are friends with each other and so deeply in love with each other. I really am. I loved the friendship of Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson years ago. I loved the friendship so much of Kylie Cantrell, Mila Baker, and Ruby Rose Turner, and seeing them taking selfies together all the time. Let me just say this. If I was the president of Disney, they could take infinite number of selfies. They could take infinite number of selfies because I just love seeing them be happy. Why take that away from them? I just said, hopefully there's not a zombie apocalypse going on. There's someone's car alarm going off. Why does this always happen to me when I'm recording videos with the Descendants of Zombies? Zombie apocalypse. Inevitable every time. Never move into a home near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could explode. Never ever do it. Unless you're really serious about recording Zombies and Descendants videos that make sense. Which a lot of people aren't, because you got a crazy cat lady going around with cat ear headphones, some fat guy who eats chili dogs who probably still lives with his mom in his room recording a video with no set and just a bed and a chair. You guys don't have a whole lot of options for Descendants videos. So this At least this YouTube set has a cool Sonic, a Dumbo, oversized Mickey and Minnie characters that I bought from Costco. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Please. Because if you subscribe, the next girl who subscribes is going to be the 2,750th subscriber. That could be you. I love you guys so much. I really do. Some girl out there is going to hit my subscribe button because she thinks I'm the sweetest guy ever. Honestly. My heart goes out to Kylie Cantrell, Ruby Rose Turner, every single night of their life. I don't know where Ruby Rose Turner is out there in the world tonight, but I want her to know that I love her so much, man. And she's worth more than everybody is making her out to be. I don't care about their net worth. I don't care about what they've done, what they may have done, what their mistakes are. This YouTube channel will forever and always exist. It will forever and always be here for you because I know how much you love Descendants and Zombies. We will talk more about Descendants and Zombies tomorrow morning. So thank you so much for just being here and being a part of all of my life for what feels like forever. Thank you so much. I love you guys so much. Be kind to one another. With that having been said, bye YouTube. We will do this again tomorrow morning. Guys, don't forget to hit my subscribe button because kindness really does go a long way.